am a slow reader with a lot of unread books. I decided to read for 24 hours straight. Good morning, booktube. It is 7 a.m. I think the strategy for the next 24 hours is to choose short and sweet books that keep my attention and momentum up. So it being the crack of dawn, I am going to start with continuing Labyrinth Coronation and read Volume 2. This is the Goblin King's origin story. I really enjoyed Volume 1, so I'm looking forward to continuing the story. I think I will do well with this for the fact that it is basically a picture book, and that is my speed at this particular moment. So let the 24-hour readathon begin. It is now 9 a.m. and I just finished Labyrinth Coronation Volume 2. This was a lot of fun. I love the storyline and the illustrations, and I also love that the creators kept the witty writing that the original story had, so I really enjoyed this. There was also some unexpected drama in the story, so I definitely want to complete the collection. This honestly was the perfect way to start the day off, and it's kind of weird to me that I've already read a book today and it's not even 9:30 in the morning. So there is a small sense of accomplishment. I will admit I am tired, I am groggy, so I think I need my very first cup of tea of the day. So I'm gonna go get that started, and then we'll come back and pick out my next read. And we're back. As I said earlier, I think I'm going to stick with shorter books to increase that sense of accomplishment when I read them. The issue is, I'm not seeing that many short horror books on my bookshelves. But I think I'm going to read Naomi's Room by Jonathan Aycliffe. This was recommended to me years ago. It is 216 pages, so I'm hoping to read this one pretty quickly. I am now just about halfway through Naomi's Room. I actually don't know what time it is. I'm a slow reader, so it actually wouldn't surprise me if it's already 12 noon. Anyway, back to the book. I'm actually not as invested in this as I thought I would be. It started off strong with an academic setting and a mystery of what happened to this young girl, and now it's kind of evolved into a ghost story mixed with a police procedural about said missing girl. And I'm just not as invested as I thought I would be. It's going much slower than I would have liked, and it's leaning more towards a ghost story, which definitely is my jam. I love paranormal stories. But for some reason, this one just isn't holding my attention. I might just skim the second half, so let's see if it gets any better. What did I just read? It is now 2 p.m. and I just completed Naomi's Room. I think I'm gonna need some time to process it. I am leaning towards not liking it that much. There were some themes and imagery that made me uncomfortable to read, and it also takes a journey into different types of horror tropes. So it starts off with this missing girl and her family's anguish over losing her. Then it turns to be a police procedural to find her and figure out what happened to her. Then it pivots to a history lesson about the house they live in and the mad scientist that used to own it. And then it ends with a possession type of storyline that is trying to be some type of psychological thriller. So it's kind of bizarre. I think this book does too much. I think choosing one of these tropes and really refining it would have been plenty for this book. And I think the imagery and plot points that made me personally uncomfortable were not needed and really didn't add anything to the story. So I'm rating it 2 out of 5 stars. To be honest, I'm starting to fade a little bit. I feel like I've met my reading quota of the day, and I still have many hours left to this readathon. I don't know if it was the book or the fact that I've been reading since 7 a.m., but I'm starting to feel it. I also think the fact that I'm physically reading is tiring me out. Being a slow reader, it takes longer and more effort for me to get through a book, so I usually pair my physical books with audiobooks so I can either read along or listen if I get tired. But I could not find an audiobook for Naomi's Room, so far this has been an eyes to the page day for Jane. So I think I'm gonna take a little break and process Naomi's Room while I get something to eat. I have been craving spaghetti and meatballs lately, so I think I'm gonna go make some homemade spaghetti and meatballs while I think about which book that I want to read next. It is 3 p.m. right now, and I am in the midst of my daily afternoon energy slump. I think I need a short book to keep my momentum up, and I also want something with an audiobook because the eye strain is starting to kick in. I decided to go with something I know I'll love, and that is Eric LaRocca's This Skin Was Once Mine and Other Disturbances. I love Eric LaRocca books. He always does something unexpected with his stories. I purposely go into them without knowing anything, as I find that is the best way to approach them. I'm also making a new rule that the books that I read for the rest of this readathon have to have audiobooks. I can feel my eyes starting to strain, and I want the option of switching to listening only if I need to close my eyes for a few minutes. So I did download the audiobook, and I'm ready to devour this one. Okay. So I just finished the title story of The Skin Was Once Mine, and oh my god, I don't know how he does it. This is about a girl who returns to her family's estate after her father passes away. While there, she realizes the family has some dark secrets. Oh my god, that ending. I do see a pattern that his title stories tend to be the strongest of the collections, but honestly, I can walk away with this book right now and be happy with the reading experience. I just love these type of stories and the writing. So I just finished Seedling, and to be honest, this one was not my favorite. Seedlings is about a man who goes to his father's house after his mother passes away, and they connect through their trauma of losing her. It was okay, but I wanted more from it, especially after This Skin. There are 2 more stories in the collection, so I'm excited to see where those go. I just completed All the Parts of You That Won't Burn Easily. And oh my god, another one I loved. This is about a young man who goes to a cutlery shop for a special knife, and the shop owner has an odd request for payment. This is another one that is a very unique story and just made my jaw drop. I will say I am slightly disappointed by the ending, but the odd premise makes me overlook all that. And now I will read the final installment, Prickle. Wow. Just wow. I just finished Prickle and I am speechless. I truly don't know how Eric LaRocca comes up with these stories and these characters. This short story is about 2 elderly men that meet up from time to time to play a cruel game that they've created. This one was devastating, and it certainly completed the collection on a strong note. So I'm going to rate this one 4 out of 5 stars. I think I'm gonna need to decompress after that one, and I'm definitely starting to get tired. It is now 7:30 and I want to go get something to eat, but afterwards, I think it's back to the picture books for me. I am going to read Volume 3 of Labyrinth Coronation. I think this will be a nice breather after the intensity of Naomi's Room and The Skin Was Once Mine. Side rant, I cannot find the hardcover print edition of Coronation Volume 1 and Volume 3. I have looked everywhere, so if anyone has any insights on how to get the hardcover collections of Labyrinth Coronation Volume 1 and Volume 3, let me know. But for now, I'm reading the ebook version. I just completed Volume 3 and I loved it. Wonderful end to the story. Anyway, it is now 10 o'clock at night and I do want to get at least 2 more books in today. I have been eyeing A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. Friends of mine have said how much they love this author's books, so I'm curious to see what the hype is. I also think I'm going to break one of my cardinal rules and make some tea to keep me up through the night and settle into this one. I already love the narration of this one. It's so cozy and perfect for the protagonist narrator. To be honest, I should have started this readathon with an all-nighter and then read for the daytime so I could sleep when it ended. That would have been better. I'm starting to really lose steam now. I'm also reading this at regular speed because my attention span is pretty short at this point, although I am loving the story. It's cozy and gothic but creepy at the same time. It's about a woman who is visiting her mom and notices there's something not quite right about her. It is set in the South and it has a Southern Gothic feeling to it, so I'm really enjoying it, but I'm struggling to keep awake now. More tea. I really enjoyed this one. I didn't know what to expect from it, but I love the story and the mystery. There are some magical elements that are blended very nicely with the setting, and the protagonist is also incredibly funny and charming, so I instantly liked her. It felt like she was a friend that was taking you through the events she was witnessing, so I absolutely loved that. I am also going to rate this one 4 stars, and I'm really happy that I enjoyed this one. I'll definitely be reading more T. Kingfishers in the future. I cannot believe I am saying this, but it is now 3 a.m. and I am filming for booktube. I know I'm in the home stretch, but honestly, I'm really fighting to stay awake. I'm going to choose a book that is short and very simple to follow. I'm going to read The Night Guest for my last book. I've heard a lot of buzz about this one. Evidently, it's about a woman who wakes up exhausted and doesn't know what's happening to her while she sleeps. To be honest, if I was fully functioning, I could probably read this pretty quickly considering the format of the book, but I'm going to take my time with this one. I am so tired. I am so close to completing the reading challenge. You know what? I can do this. I am Lady Jane Books. I can conquer these books. Time has no power over me. I have done it. I just completed the Night Guest and my 24-hour reading challenge. I enjoyed this one, but the ending was lackluster for me, so I am going to rate it 3 stars. I cannot believe I read books for 24 hours. In that time, I completed 6 books, which is more than I read on average a month. One drawback about this adventure is that I feel like I didn't really get to savor the books. I could not have a book discussion on any of them if you paid me. Sometimes it's okay just to read for the fun of it and not have a deliverable. If I ever do this again, I think I'm going to start it at night, so then the all-nighter is already done and I can go to sleep right when the challenge is completed. But let me know if you liked this little experiment and if you want to see me do another 24-hour reading challenge. And if you want to hear some of my top horror book recommendations, click this video. I just realized it's 7 a.m. and I have an entire day ahead of me.